Okay, I'm going to show you how to do the magnetic snap now. Oh, the 2 magnetic snaps, sorry, not 1. Okay, so grab your flap lining, put it on its wrong side up, and grab your pattern piece. Now, where I've marked where the magnetic snaps are, just poke your pen through those black dots, and then once you line it up, you can just make a mark with your pen where they're going to go. As you can see, you just use a normal pen like I said before, because you're not going to see it. Grab your washer, mark where they'll be, where the prongs are going to go through. So you'll need 2 magnetic snaps. It doesn't matter what thickness you use because it's on a bag, it's not a wallet, so you don't need the real thin ones. They're your males and these are your females. And you'll also need 2 pieces of stabilizer for the back. So grab your seam ripper again. Be very careful. Just take your time and just do a tiny little tear. Try not to cut that whole piece, that whole line that you marked, because you will not need it. It doesn't need to be that big. That's just a guide. Did I get in there properly yet? Okay, so turn it over to the right side. Grab your males, and we're going to put one of each one through the holes. If you need to make the holes a touch bigger, go ahead, but I find that normally I can squeeze them through. This one might be a little bit too small. I think I was trying too careful not to rip the fabric. There we go. Oh, I'm too close to the camera, sorry. There we go. Then, where is it again? There we go. You have to wrestle with them. There we go. Done. Then we have to do the backings. So make your mark. You have about 1 inch by 1 inch, and just do your marks in the center. Cut them. Put your stabilizer on the back over the prongs. Then your washer. Bend your prongs down. You can bend them to the middle or to the outside, whatever you prefer. It won't really matter. It's just a preference. I think they hold just as secure both ways. There we go. So they're done. Okay, so you're done with the flap. Grab your exterior flap with the foam and lay that right sides together over the flap lining. And we'll take that over to our machine, and we're going to stitch around the edges, but not over the top there, just around the curves. So I've got the flap with the 2 male magnetic snaps attached onto the lining, and it's right sides together with the exterior flap piece. I've changed my foot to a zipper foot, and we're going to sew close to the foam as much as we can. So it should be a 3/8 inch seam. I'll start in a touch so that I don't gather that fabric up. And I want to back stitch at this spot too, because when we turn we don't want those stitches coming undone. Take your time around the curves. We want them to look nice and neat when they're turned, and we want them to look the same as each other, both flap curves. Okay, so we're going to trim the flap down to 1/4 of an inch. And if you can, put a couple of little notches in the corners and the curves. So we're going to turn that. Push your curves out. Take it over to your machine, to your iron, and with a warm iron, give it a press. Do it from the lining side though, and avoid going over your, oh well, these won't run it, but you don't want to get them all hot and then you touch them and burn yourself. These aren't magnetic. The other ones, the female ones are, so you have to be careful sort of ironing near them. I have heard that they can demagnetize, or it can weaken their magnetic field. Okay, so I'm going to take that over to the iron, and then I'm going to top stitch with a 1/8 inch stitch all the way around the edge. Okay, so we're going to add the female parts of the magnetic snap to the front main panel, exterior front main panel. So grab your pattern piece again, like you did for the, just like you did with the flap when we used that one. Now we're going to use the main panel one, and on there poke through that round the black hole and make your mark. Just going to make sure it's exact. Okay, that's about right. Okay, over to the other side. Ignore that little mark in the middle because I wasn't sure if I was going to do a turn lock on this one or not, but I changed my mind and decided to do a snap. Okay, using your magnetic snap washers, mark where we're going to cut through. Okay. Use your seam ripper again. Now, this one is going to be a little difficult because we've got the foam to go through. It's not as easy as doing the flap lining where you don't have any foam, so I could struggle a little bit trying to push these through. I hope not. They're about there, I think they are. Oh, one went through. You just got a feel for them. Okay, we got that one down. Now we're going to try and put this one in. I can only just faintly see the cuts coming through the other side. There we go. Oh, look, how easy was that? Okay, so now we just need a bit of stabilizer for the back. So I'm just going to cut that here. I didn't have any cut ready. and just make the same marks on the back. I should have had these already drawn up. Probably a good idea to have lots of them already done and ready to grab out of a container every time I'm putting in a snap. I'm just going to trim that bit down a little bit. Okay, I might do the fusible side towards there just in case. If I give it a quick iron, it might fuse to the fabric, make it even more stable. As long as I don't iron too close to the actual magnet, or not over top of it actually. Okay, there we go. Fold your prongs out. See, better to use that ruler than your hands, because especially if you're going to be putting in a lot of them, because shit, it can hurt your fingers after a while. Okay, let's see if our measurements are correct. You ready? Okay. I'll put one in there and oh, look at that. Perfect.